KMC Friday podcast. Maximum impact, nothing but the truth.
You're listening to KMC Friday podcast with May and Pile, featuring a wide range of conversations around faith, business, and life in general.
Hi, my name is Ms Thobelani Khanyi. I'm a girl in IT, a woman in IT to be exact. I've got a degree in information technology, and I've started my career in 2018 up until now, and it's been a pretty good journey.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are live here at Friday podcast, Maximum Impact, Nothing But the Truth. We obviously have got an amazing guest today, Thobelani. One of the ladies that when I look up to, I get quite inspired. It is a journey that you took, on IT, specifically as a woman. It's well thought to be a career, taken by guys, innovative, and all things like that. But now, what's your take particularly about women in IT?
Okay, my take. Hi, by the way.
Yes.
So, my take on that is that it's still a very challenging sector to be in for women. Looking at my career for the past couple of years that I've been in IT, it has been challenging. I've been surrounded by a lot of men who expect to be heard and who think they're more assertive than women. So we're still on a journey of trying to change that perception, of trying to showcase what us as women can also do. We're not far off from men,
100%.
We're just as capable as men are, and I don't know, we've been given the platform, and I feel like it's up to us to change that. I think it won't be easy.
Yeah.
It's very challenging for me as an individual as well. But we're going to get there eventually.
100%, and because you're dealing with some of the things that are stereotypical, that for the longest time as men we were raised to classify where women can get in and where men obviously feel in terms of job and all things that. But do you think women have got security in IT, first on this career is concerned? Are they secured in their job?
They do. They have security, actually. I feel like as much as I didn't have much insight when I went in this career, but now that I'm in it, I can just see the growth. I can see how women can tackle this industry and make it bigger for themselves and for men as well. Like I said, we're just as capable. I've been in contact with project managers who actually have been where I am at this point. And I don't know, there's just room for growth.
100%.
There's just so much room for growth. I can't even start elaborating on that.
That's very great. But look, there's obviously, you guys are really revolutionizing how things are done. There's a traditional things or ways that we have, taken just to go on about life. But you guys in IT are really becoming so innovative such that you are really replacing what we do as people, and you almost put machines, program them to do that. What's your take on the level of unemployment that we are going around with, and you still continue to be innovative, and we celebrate you guys with what you do. but obviously at an expense of human activity, and job security with what you guys come in. What's your take on the future that is upcoming and some of the challenges that we're already starting to see? For example, in McDonald's, now you don't no longer need a cashier, you sort of just, what's your take on that, particularly on unemployment?
Okay, for me, I feel like that goes back to high school.
Okay.
They need to really enforce the idea of how we choose our careers.
Okay.
We gotta be more focused on the skills.
Right.
Looking at how the world is changing right now, you kind of see that most jobs are just not a thing anymore. So I feel like that's where the foundation is. We need to sort it out from there. That, okay, I want to do this. Will it still be needed in the next 5 years?
Yeah.
Will I still be an asset in 5 years?
Yeah.
So it's not really our fault that we're changing things around. So I don't know. I wouldn't blame us for that. We're just trying to make things convenient for people. We're just trying to limit labor. Like fine, it's needed, yes, but we're just trying to preserve the energy we have in a way.
And I do agree with you. Convenience obviously does come with some sense of cost as well. And you touched based on high school and things like that. But obviously we're speaking of a phase where people haven't got anything figured out. And I think I'll also just put this one. Obviously I'm not brushing every parent with the same brush, but I'm saying that some parents are just not as knowledgeable. Some are ignorant. Some just choose not to really be actively involved in terms of guiding their children on what they ought to do. And obviously, we're speaking about you guys at this point in time, making convenience to be our daily life and all that. Then, obviously, we've got those that are coming and already are disadvantaged by what you guys implement. So, what message have you got for people in high school? Those that, it's a phase where I just want to do physics, I just want to do accounting, I just want to do agriculture and things like that. But you don't really know so much until you are probably at your final age university, like, oh my God, had I known.
I don't know.
Yeah, so what can we do differently? What advice can you put out there for people in that phase?
Okay, how do I put this? I know it's not an easy thing to do at that point of being in high school. You're still a kid, you don't really know much, so it's hard for you to take responsibility for your own actions, right? For me, I feel like that's where the problem is. We need to teach our kids and students and whatever to take power over their decisions, because I'm trying to find a way to put this in a very acceptable way. We're responsible for whatever decision we make, right? So what we know and what we think is right for us requires us to have a solid background. We need to support what we say. If you want to do something, give me a reason why you want to do it. So going back to parents, if I go to my parent and they're like, I want to do this, they obviously want to know the reason why I want to do it. And if you can't support yourself on that, obviously they won't take you seriously.
Yeah.
Honestly, so I feel like that's what the problem is. We fail to stand for ourselves when it comes to our parents. We might know what we want, but having to present it to our parents and be like, okay, I want to do this, and this is the reason why I want to do it, and this is where I see myself while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
We just need to fix it there. Like, know why you want to do something and where you see yourself going with it.
100%.
Yeah. So I think that's where we should fix.
Surely, and I do concur with what you're saying. Surely tech is really taking, occupying in every sphere of career. We see you guys, changing things and with technology as it grows. So don't you think, therefore, it is quite important from an infant teaching primarily, we need to, instigate or put in place, sort of a mindset to sort of take IT as one of the fundamentals. Like everybody ought to have that because it seems it's like the only thing relevant to us. But obviously there are other careers open that maybe IT won't take over and things like that. But do you think it's quite important from high school, university, that sort of IT should become compulsory?
Not just IT.
Okay.
You need to be computer literate.
All right.
I feel like that's something that should be instilled from primary, actually. I was actually reading an article about this Kid to Kid program and, write their own code at the young age.
Yeah.
And I only started doing that when I was like 19. And I'm like, so it's not impossible to have that mindset. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're going to take a part in IT. A career part in IT.
Sure.
But having to equip yourself just on how to use a computer, basic knowledge, using Word, using Excel, the formula is there. It's the most basic and the most simplest thing you could ever teach yourself, and it could help you in any career you choose. So it's not that, just equip yourself with computers.
100%. So while still in that, there's obviously this jargon to some of us who don't know, the artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
So how can you put it to us to sort of simplify it? And because I think ahead of time, there's going to be humans and artificial intelligence competing. So how can you just put it to us in your own definition, just how you understand it?
How do I put it? I'll basically be creating a robot May. Basically, just create a machine that will do what May is doing. Create a machine that will speak the way you do, and it will ask me these very same questions the way you're asking me. It's pretty bad. You just get to write code, just get the robot talking. Simple.
And where are we going really as humans? We sort of like waiting to replace ourselves. And it's quite interesting how we just have this thing of God in us. We want to create sort of humans and all that. But and I think it's a project of almost every country, a project of the world to get to that of every country. So we're just going to take a break, and we're going to be taking a lead from artificial intelligence. Welcome back once again. But we obviously have a wonderful conversation just about artificial intelligence. And I just wanted to touch on some of the challenges that humanity is going to face just when it gets to effect and is really, really working so well.
Okay, what could be the possible challenges? We have myths that this, type of evolution will make extinct of jobs and that, but that's not really the case.
Okay.
I feel like in order for us to teach computers what to do, we need to have people actually know what to do. So we need to take it from them in order for us to teach it to the robots and whatnot.
100%, and when you're speaking about people who know how to utilize them, we're speaking of a certain set of skilled people only. And I'm worried about the masses because what you guys are going to be inviting and bringing to picture, we're just going to affect quite a number of people. And, those are the grounds that still can afford, high education and, they still can, just afford basic needs, shelter, food, and things like that. And now, this minor jobs that they were just so dependent on them, now you guys, are putting in place to effect artificial intelligence that now wraps off, it obliterates the sort of minor skills they've got to just put food on the table. And I just want to ask you and just submit your conscience to say, how does that make you feel?
I want to say sad, but it doesn't. It doesn't, because I believe that this will work in a sense that it will accommodate people who have already found themselves working. You understand? So what's going to happen is we might get computers programmed to actually do people's jobs, and we will get the actual experts to run the process, because we can't expect the computer to run it all. Let's take Department of Home Affairs. Let's say Home Affairs. You get there, a lot of people in the room waiting to be serviced. What might happen is we get a computer to actually perform human tasks, right, in parts. It's I'm just going to get a group of people who want to check if their IDs have been issued as yet. You know, you call them in, everyone, hundreds of them, you put in their details, and then you just press one button. And a list of information will pop up, IDs here, without you having to go through the records one by one. You see, no one lost their job. We'll still have everything intact.
Well, you know, you're submitting your argument, and you so much just escaped the feel and rushed into what excites, and you know, just particularly in this space. And obviously, we're not discouraging that, but you know, the cost that it comes with, it's really so heavy. And you know, just to conclude on the subject, how do you put a sense of comfort to those that probably have the same view that I do, you know, particularly about replacing humanity and their activity and minor skills and soft skills that, you know, is able to put food on the table? What sort of message have you got for them? You know, just to put them home at ease, sort of, because it's frightening, eh?
It is. Keep learning. And familiarize yourself with the latest technologies. Not to maximum extent, but just get the minor basics. Because the worst that they could do is just place a computer in front of you. They wouldn't expect you to code, they wouldn't expect you to actually program the computer according to what you wanted to do, but they will just ask you to help it work. So just familiarize yourself with technology. Simple, no stress, no. You know, like I said, basic computer education.
100%. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Thobelani putting to us that obviously that we ought to just keep on learning, making sure that we advance ourselves, because it will be really hard to catch up, as opposed to, you know, preparing ourselves, obviously knowing and seeing where the world is really taking a direction. So, you know, in terms of just artificial intelligence, and we ought to prepare ourselves so that it doesn't hit us on our face, but we actually align with that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Friday podcast, maximum impact, nothing but the truth. We hope to hear your views on that.